Starting off with the latest coming in from Hong Kong, hundreds of protesters continue to rally outside the British consulate to drum up international support for their protest movement. On your screens are recent visuals of the protest. Protesters can be seen singing God Save the Queen and waving Union Jack flags in their rally since yesterday. The campaigners remain firm on the demand that the former colonial power ensures China honors its commitments to the city's freedoms. Demonstrators continue even after the political leadership agreed to withdraw a controversial extradition bill. Meanwhile, the protesters demand direct election of city leaders and an independent inquiry into police actions. The Chinese-ruled territory has been rocked by weeks of sometimes violent pro-democracy protests. The demonstrators are visibly enraged about what they see as a creeping interference by Beijing in their city's affairs, despite a promise of autonomy. The Sino-British Joint Declaration, signed in 1984, lays out Hong Kong's future after its return to China in 1997, preaches a one country, two systems formula that ensures freedoms not enjoyed on the mainland. Many young people are now looking for routes out of Hong Kong. They demand that Britain should change the status of British national overseas. Passport that allows a holder to visit Britain for 6 months but does not come with an automatic right to live or work there. China, however, remains committed to the one country, two systems arrangements and says that Hong Kong will continue to be China's internal issue. And it's a new wave of Yellow Vest demonstrations as the protests enter its 44th week in France. Hundreds of protesters clashed with the police on Saturday in the western French city of Nantes. Around 2,000 people gathered in the city centre in the wake of the aggressive protests. The anti-government march against President Emmanuel Macron and his government, which had suffered a brief lull, seems to have regained its momentum across the country over the last couple of weeks. Police fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse protesters, and after some of them threw projectiles at the forces. About 21 people had been arrested as part of a group of black-clad anarchists found vandalizing several stores. The protests, which began in November last year over fuel tax increases, morphed into an ever-magnifying violent revolt against the authorities.